Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You are tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on NBC News, CNBC News, and NBC Sports Radio Station, home of the Asian Oprah, KCAA, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, Audible, iTunes, TuneIn, Amazon Music, Podchaser, GeoSunt, Rumble, Tiki Live, and about 28 more platforms. Why so many? Because I want to maximize my splatter zone for more hope and happiness, because I'm on a Happy 88 mission. 88 million more happy people in the next 8 years. And so I have topics and guests and special series just for you. Today is Real Woman Talk with my very special co-host, Colette Tracy. Please welcome. Well, first, let me give you a good introduction before I welcome her. And I get glasses now. My co-host for the Real Woman Talk series, Colette Tracy, is a professor, author, coach, and social entrepreneur. Her book, Both Sides Now, has been developed into a course taught at Duke University, Carnegie Mellon, and American University, and is now a community psychology PhD student at National Louis University. Please welcome back to the studio, Colette Tracy.
Hi.
Oh,
Hi, Dr. Marissa. Hi, everybody.
How are you?
I'm very well. How are you doing?
I'm happy and grateful, and we'll talk about more how we're doing when we have breakfast, which is right now taking a bite of my gratitude sandwich this morning, which is a new Blissipline that we started about, I want to say, I don't know, I have to ask Polly, 5 or 6 months ago. And people are so appreciative of it. And thank you for your messages. Got one more yesterday saying thank you for the appreciations in the morning. So why don't you start with the top of the bun, 8 specific things that you're grateful for, Colette?
Okay. I am grateful for my mentor at National Louis University in the PhD program. Her name is Judy Kent. Yesterday, we spent some time and really have my pilot and my dissertation ideas outlined. So wonderful. I want to thank her very much.
What's the title?
Well, it is going to be about immigrants and the immigrant paradox, specifically with Hispanic. And those exposed to trauma and such. So don't have a title yet, but we've got a really good start.
Good. My title was The Nature and Effects of User Involvement on Systems Acceptance. So you can tell I took the class of very boring dissertation titles. But when you said PhD, it reminded me of a time. So good for you. I encourage all women, especially, and even most colorful women. And there's a little bit of an echo. Colette, do you have stuff turned off on your, everything's off?
Everything is off. My phone is on silent, but I probably
perfect. Polly, I'm going to hang up on you just in case it's us, and then you can text me. All right. All right. Is that better?
Hello? Hello? Yeah.
Yeah, it still is a little bit, but that's okay. It's not horrible, hopefully. But I encourage all, especially women of color, to go and get as much education as possible. PhDs are great because it is an identifier for yourself that, you did something difficult and you achieved it, and no one can ever take that title away. So that's a message from my beloved father, Dr. David Pay, who was a professor for his entire
Oh,
life.
wow. I was
Uh,
just going to ask that if you were first generation. I'm definitely first generation college, and my brother was too, but we're the only ones of our generation and before that had gone. So,
yeah, my father instilled in me that desire to get the PhD. So I'm grateful that I have a PhD and that I stuck with it. And even though there was a fork in the road, and I was singing as a lounge lizard and
mhm,
writing music, and he got wind of it and came down and said, "You're good, but you're not that good.
mhm,
You've wanted a PhD since you were 4. So go get your education first. You can always come back to music." And he was correct. So,
mm,
yeah. So I'm grateful for, and I'll do an extra one. I'm grateful for music and my love of music. And I'll be getting to go see Elton John in his final tour on Sunday. And I'm excited about that. What an amazing artist he is. And, so just grateful for the role of music in my life. And do too, and then we'll be done with the gratitudes.
Okay, so I am grateful for my opportunity to teach my class this spring in a pilot program at Northwestern through the OLLI program. And, I'm one of out of 300, I'm one of 23 chosen for this year's pilot program, and very humbled and honored to be doing that.
Great. And that's the course called Both Sides Now,
Right.
right? Based
Hmm.
on your book,
Hmm.
which you can get anywhere, right? It's and give me like a little commercial of that book.
It's just really about making the most out of your life, understanding that this time of life is difficult. Any time of life has its own challenges, but there are some unique. But as we get older, sometimes we get more regretful and things, but really to look at the life we have left and make the most out of it.
Fantastic. All right. And that's the top of the bun. We're going to go to the bottom of the bun, which is appreciations. And it's not appreciations of other people, it's appreciation of the most important person in your life, which is you. And we don't always grow up with that message. We sometimes are told that you're not all that, or you should focus on others, you should serve others, especially in different cultures, certainly in the Asian culture. Your man or your family comes first, you come second. And what that has created is a lot of unhappy people, because it's true in the airplane, you have to oxygenate yourself before you can actually oxygenate others. And that's one reason why I brought Colette on as a co-host, is that it is true. There's a lot of women out there who are unhappy of their own making, but they don't know and understand why. And my number one advice always is the buck starts right over here. Are you happy with yourself? So the bottom of the bun appreciation is an exercise to highlight what you do like about yourself. So you're not always saying, no, 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 no. When people compliment you, you receive it and say thank you. And you're also not looking for love in all the wrong places, because if you can't approve of yourself, how the fork do you expect other people to approve of you? So, Colette, what do you appreciate about yourself?
Well, I appreciate the fact that I can encourage my friends. I have one friend specifically. Her name is Donna, and she's had a lot of challenges with her health, and she's feeling better, and she's getting out there and really starting to live her life again. And I'm proud of her and happy that I'm able to encourage her in that.
Beautiful. I appreciate that I am loving 88% of the time, and that I know that I'm not perfect. So 12% of the time I'm not, and I step in it, but I don't beat myself up for it, because I know that I'm imperfectly perfect. So that's like 3 appreciations right there.
And I would agree exactly. I concur because sometimes it's hard when you've maybe done something wrong, but you have to forgive yourself and hope that others will as well. But I think it's very important to know your strengths and some of your challenges and some of the areas maybe where you go wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And my last appreciation is that I know how to dress myself. I appreciate that I know how to apply creativity to my style and
Hmm.
fashion.
Hmm. And I would say I appreciate the fact that I try to understand. Uh, I don't always take things from just my perspective. I'm able to look at others and see their points of view as well. Usually,
Fantastic.
unless I'm not.
Most of the time, 88% of the time,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, all, for having breakfast with Colette and I. You just took a bite of my gratitude sandwich. And if you've just tuned in, I see eyeball starting to roll in. You are streaming and watching and listening to Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It, Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show special series on every other Wednesday, which is Real Women Talk with my wonderful co host, Colette Tracy. And today I will kick off the topic and then let Colette chime in with her reactions when I suggested this. And then we're going to have a great show hour for any of you who, when you woke up and looked at the calendar and went, oh my God, I have a week before Thanksgiving. And then after that is Christmas. And then OMG, on top of everything that I have to do. And I'm doing this, doing that, doing this, doing that. And I'm in doo doo. Today's show is dedicated to all the women who do too much, who maybe aren't looking forward to this holiday, that hopefully by the end of the show, you'll have some happy 88 tools and a readjusted joy for the season of joy. So that's what we're talking about today. Love to have you put questions, comments in the chat. So go to YouTube, free subscribe there, and you'll get the link to come and join us. Colette, what is your reaction to this topic?
Oh wow. I'm definitely guilty of doing too much around the holidays, especially in the past, where I could say I get so much joy out of it. It doesn't matter if I'm exhausted. Now that I'm a few years older and realizing I get tired more quickly, or always did, maybe just didn't recognize it before, I understand that we have to give ourselves a break. And there's so much expectation around the holidays. I mean, a lot, of it's in a lot of it is maybe from others, but a lot of it is in our mind, and our culture, the way this is supposed to be such a happy, joyful, giving, caring time of the year. That's a lot of pressure for us. Uh, it's a lot of pressure, and then it's actually feeling guilty that you don't feel a certain way while you're doing a million things. I've always experienced that, like, well, I should be joyful. I should be joyful about these things. It's an honor to be able to have people over and serve them my food and have them enjoy and be a hostess. But it's hard, especially like I said before. I have just kind of not. I've just lowered the bar just a little bit now versus what I used to do and used to be. So, for example, I'm going to my brother Bob and his wife Beth. I'm going there for Thanksgiving, which years ago I would have been compelled to say, "Come here," or "Oh, we'll do our own thing." I'm like, "Thank you." I get a break next week. Thank you so much. I'll probably bake a cake.
Yeah, that's a really important point, is that honestly, sometimes we don't realize what we do to ourselves. We take things on. Nope. I used to hate to hear, nobody asked you
Mm,
to host, or nobody asked you to go and make this such an elaborate thing. Nobody asked you and it was, I used to hate hearing it, but finally, I think after the, fifth exhausted time where I did the turkey and the ham and the croissant and the casseroles, and when people would say, "Can I bring anything?" Instead of saying, "Yes, I would love you to bring," "No, no, 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 I'll bring," just, "No, no, you just come." And then if the worst part was, if they weren't appreciative enough after all that I did, then I would have a resentment, and like, I can't believe, and it was just miserable. I was miserable, and then everybody around me was miserable because they can sense the fact that I am not happy. When it's an energetic thing. When you're not happy, you can't hide it. I'm that saying, if you're happy, let your face know.
I I always love that you are so real and so honest about these things. And I think that I think for women, I think even when we say, okay, I'm kind of upset, you're not appreciating, deep inside, we feel guilty about the way we feel about that. The maybe the angst or the hurt feelings because people aren't appreciating the way we should. I think inside we still feel bad, right? One way or another, because and I know for myself, and I know this is true for many women, is that we just feel we have to be way up here where other people and sometimes we don't allow for other people to be done. Sometimes we have those expectations. If we're up here, everybody else has to be up here, kind of thing.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I recognize that myself too.
That is, and so let's put that moose on the table again. If you are a perfectionist, you will have a tendency to, one, take on more than you can humanly possibly do, two, attach it to your self-worth. I'll be happy when, I'll be good enough when
Yeah.
I'm able to blankety blankety blank.
Yeah.
And that is very damaging. I call it the dis-ease with life.
Mhm.
And you heard in the little promo, my mental health minute that started while the news was still playing. Those of you who are not in your car heard that little blip there. It is up to us to stop looking for love in the wrong places. It is up to us to stop worrying. It is up to us. That's under our own control. Nobody can tell you enough that you've done a great job, and that what a beautiful table and what a beautiful Thanksgiving, and all. It's never going to be enough until you can,
Mhm.
no matter what the reaction is to all your preparations,
Mhm.
you have to be able to say, "You did good, mama. You did good." And that's a Happy 88 tool that I have in my book, 8 Ways to Happiness, which is called Bake Your Own Cake.
Love that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Criticisms and compliments are icing on the cake, but
Mhm.
you have to be able to, if you don't want to host, don't host. If
Mhm.
you want to host, then every minute of the preparation, have fun. And here's a little thing that I do now when I'm cooking that makes it more fun for me, because cooking used to be against my religion. I would make a lot of reservations, not a lot of dishes. But now when I'm cooking, when I'm stirring, when I'm folding, when I'm using the spatula, I mix in love, joy, peace, what vision I have for my kids and all the people that are coming, and I use that time to be intentional about blessing my food and what's going in it, and the people that are coming, what's my blessings for them, and I put that in as I'm cooking, and it makes the whole process
Mhm.
very different than,
Mhm.
"Oh my God, I don't know if I'm going to get this in time. And did I remember this? And who has the and I can't believe it." And that, even shopping is, if you can put positive mindfulness
Mhm.
in the preparation,
Mhm.
and and reward yourself. When I actually put a list together, not to make myself stressed out and overwhelmed about all the things I have to do, but every time I check it off, I take a minute and just stop and take that breath
Mhm.
and appreciate that I just completed another thing.
Mhm.
So there's a Happy 88 tool that I use a holiday season so that I am not overwhelmed as much most of the time, and I'm not resentful
Mhm.
because I'm baking my own cake. Does
Mhm.
that make sense?
Yes, it makes perfect sense. And I've got to say, through the years, I used to love every second of preparing, like you do. I do love cooking. I do love baking. But it takes energy. So, but I would just, I'm the kind that makes everything from scratch. I bake everything from scratch because I grew up with that with my parents, and they were just that way. And that was just the way it was going to be. And I was happy to do it. As I've gotten older, let's put it this way, not that I've gotten more tired, I probably have, but I think I understand my limitations more now than I ever have. I've got
Good point.
because I know I've got only so much energy. But to be joyful, Dr. Marissa, when you're cooking and baking, and that's what makes it so much fun, is to know that, wow, my family or my friends, or they're really going to enjoy this. And and when it was just for my parents, my father especially, because he was a pastry chef and he was a very good cook. My mom was too, not taking away from her. But when he would come and say, wow, Colette, this is amazing, I love this, and he would say, I can't do this. I'm like, oh, what do you mean you couldn't do this? He's like, no, I'm very basic. This is beautiful, it's gourmet. And so I did live for that before. And there, a lot of my family's gone now. And you're right. You really do have to have that internal joy for yourself, and an appreciation for yourself. And I think a big thing that I'm just really learning now, like I said, is really understanding when I need a break. Understanding that, because my life is so busy beyond the holidays that I really
Mhm.
drain myself. But I don't want to be I don't want to be a downer about the holidays, because I'm definitely look forward to them. But yeah, there's a lot to consider now.
Yeah, yeah. So, for women who do too much, for perfectionists, for recovering perfectionists, I want you to learn how to do something, and I'll just demonstrate with you, Colette. Raise your right hand over and just do this. Yay!
Yay!
Good job! Good
Yeah,
job! Good
I love
job! And then the second thing that I've also included since the pandemic is take both arms up, over, and
oh,
yay!
great. Love that.
Yay!
You've
I
done
mean,
such a good job.
it's so silly, but it is
It's what
so it's such a good habit because in doing this, you literally stop looking out here.
yeah,
You bring it home. You
yeah.
bring it here. You bring it to your heart. I've never been more affectionate with myself. But the pandemic, we lost the hug, right?
Yeah.
For the most part, and it's having a little, challenge coming back because we're still not 100% out of the woods. We may never be.
Mhm.
So I think it's so important to begin to understand. It's a good lesson for us
Mhm.
to learn how to affirm ourselves.
And
Yes.
yes, totally. And the thing is, our generation, the generation before us, even Gen X or baby boom, Gen X kind of skewed together there. We were not raised that way. We were not. We
Mm,
were not told to. But what did we do when we raised our kids? We told them to love themselves. We told them to value themselves, which was
yes.
something we didn't get. So what we need
Mhm.
to do for women at our age, our generation, is teach them to value themselves. And do I do it every single day of the week? Am I? No, but I strive for that. I strive for being kinder to myself.
Good.
And, I think that that's one of the things that gets better is you kind of learn how to maybe balance that. I think when, I was younger, especially around the holidays, I would go, 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 go till I practically dropped,
Right.
and I
Yeah.
don't view it the same way anymore. So I'm going to have, for my holiday for Christmas, I'll have Christmas Eve here and Christmas Day. So, and I was saying to my husband, maybe we should go out to dinner on Christmas Day. And he just couldn't believe it because I've never been like that. But yeah, I want to. So Christmas Eve is going to be, fairly light. And then Christmas Day will have the big, not both days, the big should be, I have to be mindful of that. I have to
Yeah.
pace myself. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I get to go to my bonus mom and dad's. My bonus mom just turned 90, and my
Oh,
bonus dad's going to turn on Thanksgiving 93. So they've
oh,
invited me and my daughters and her boyfriend, my older one's boyfriend. So we get to go Thanksgiving there. And because I make these killer turkey sandwiches. I will make my own turkey again on Friday at home so that we have sandwiches, because that's a tradition of mine that I love.
mhm.
And I'm looking forward to that. So there is a way to actually look forward to the holidays again. To recap this first half hour of the show, it is looking at yourself. If you can change your mind and heart about how you can do not too much, but just enough, and affirm yourself and your efforts, then you will have a great holiday starting with Thanksgiving. We're going to be right back with more on this very special series every other Wednesday called Real Woman Talk with co-host Colette Tracy and Dr. Marissa here on Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It, Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind.
Want delicious Vietnamese, Asian, fusion cuisine that is so good for your health you won't believe your taste buds? Olac is a 100% plant-based vegan restaurant founded by Mai on living foods and a love for animals that won't make you sacrifice taste for health. 2 locations to delight you, downtown LA and Fountain Valley. So go to www.olac.com, AULAC, to book your reservation today. Saving the planet has never tasted so good.
And we're coming back in.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome back. You're tuned in to Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It, Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, NBC News Radio, home to the Asian Oprah, KCAA AM 1050 and FM 106.5. Colette, I'm giving you a little time to go and get those earphones, because that is the reason why we're getting that echo. I didn't see it not on you so when we were starting, but I'm so grateful that you are here tuning in. It is a special series, a Real Women Talk, with the topic of women who do too much and holiday stress. And we've had a great first half an hour talking about some simple tools, especially if you're hosting, to be able to enjoy your holidays. And while we're getting reset up here, I just wanted to notify you that I have some amazing guests coming up in the next couple of weeks. One is my big brother, Michael Bernard Beckwith, founder of Agape International Spiritual Center, this month celebrating 36 magnificent years. You know, he's my teacher. You know, he's the one who actually introduced me to Oprah as the Asian Oprah. And so he's coming on 11/22/22, auspicious day, as well as I'm so excited to announce that Lucy Arnaz, the daughter of Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz, is also coming on that same week. And then Mark and Brian, KLOS fans, who may remember that very well loved. They got inducted into the Radio Hall of Fame, but Mark will be here in December as well. So I'm so excited. You know, I really do try to bring y'all some interesting people, interesting topics, and I am grateful, beyond grateful, for all the love and support that I continuously get for the show now. And it's almost, let's see, May 1st will be 10 years. 475, I believe, consecutive weeks now. So thank you for making me the number one 8 a.m. show in the IE, number two to Bill Handel in Southern California. And you know, whoever said a show about hope and happiness and positive news and good news would never last, thank you for being wrong. And then finally, thank you so much for all the guys at KCAA who offer me the tremendous continuous support. Polly's my sound engineer today, Sam, Mark Westwood, station manager, Fred Lundgren, station owner, his son, Mike Lundgren, Rick in the Morning, Miguel, Joe, and anyone else I forgot. I apologize, but thank you guys. And I do see the eyeballs rolling in. If you have any questions or comments, or I know what you're talking about, Dr. Marissa and Colette Tracy, about holiday stress, please do put it in the comment section. Thank you for rolling your eyeballs into the stream. I see you there, but I don't know who it is until you identify. Now, back to the topic. Women who do too much, holiday stress, and how I can actually have a good time this season of joy. Colette, what other things are taking away from our ability to have a good holiday?
Yeah, the expectations, and going back to the cooking and the baking and this and that, you know, like you had mentioned too, not allowing other people to bring something. You know, I think that's a big deal, right? If someone says to me now, can I bring something? Absolutely. That would be so wonderful. I'll even come up with things they can bring, and they love that, which I never did that before because it was my show. It had to be all about me, me, me. I was doing everything. And I think so allowing other people to really help us when we need it. That's something that I've learned too. And that is huge. That's huge. Another thing I want to say too, sometimes because of our expectations for ourselves and everyone around us, that can cause holiday blues, you know, maybe feeling bad too about having lost loved ones and thinking about them. Those are all part of the bittersweet package that comes with this time of life, really any time of life, but especially at this point. You know?
Yeah, I'm really glad you brought that up. I would have forgotten. Holiday blues is one of those accepted norms during the holidays that I want to put the moose on the table about. I have heard people who say, and hello, Movem, thank you for joining in. I am very well. Thank you for tuning in on Instagram Live. If you want to actually chat, go to my YouTube channel. The link is in the bio. But holiday blues, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong. And I think it's important to spend a minute missing people who are not there for the holidays. Because, of course, holidays are a time when you're with family. And if someone has passed, I have someone who lost a mother, a sister, and a best friend all in the last 6 months.
Oh
And
my
my
goodness.
heart goes out to him. And I know this is going to be a difficult holiday for him. However, I think that people who say, I hate the holidays, it just brings bad memories, either because they miss someone so badly or they have relatives that they really don't want to see every year because they ask the same questions.
Mm-hmm.
You married yet? Are you having children yet? Did you get a promotion yet? And they're not thrilled about the anticipation of seeing relatives. That they say this thing that hurts my heart. They say, "I can't wait for the holidays to be over," and I'm like, "What? That's a month and a half that you want to just chuck out of your life every year. That's just as bad as saying I'm going to live for the weekends. That's 2 days out of 7. You're going to just bypass 5 days out of 7. And for me, life is so beautiful and amazing. And every day is an opportunity to live, love, laugh, learn, hug, hold, respect, innovate, create, inspire, motivate. So that opportunity, you are chucking a month and a half of anything beautiful to have happen during the holidays. So I would
Mm-hmm.
encourage you to stop saying that, because that statement in and of itself will bring you things that validate your BS belief system around the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
You hate the holidays, then law of attraction, you will see things that you will hate during the holidays. People
Mm-hmm.
cut you off, the crazy traffic, people fighting for that perfect gift. All of that negativity will come at you because you hold that BS. So the first thing is to stop saying it, and stop believing it will come. If you stop saying it first, then the belief will follow. So then switching your focus on those things that you love. Now, when it comes to people, my dad, my Chinese dad, and not my bonus dad, he's in heaven. He lost his fight with lymphoma, but I know he's up there cheering me on, and he's laughing, and he's watching, and he's doing just fine on the other side, where everybody that's gone over to the other side has come back and said, beautiful, peaceful, warm, glow, music, so they're in a good place. Yes, we miss them. But instead of thinking about the last minute, month, year of their disease, or however the tragedy that took them, they're not gone. They're there. And if we can celebrate, this is a tool in the book as well. By the way, the Asian Oprah giveaway today is a copy of my 8 Ways to Happiness from Wherever You Are audiobook. So go to drmarissa.life and put in holiday blues, and you'll get that to help you through this holiday, is to remember them whole. That's the tool. Remember people whole, not in their last minute, but in their fullness of who they are. And that will help bring you out of the blues, so you can be sad, take a breath, get in touch with that missing, allow yourself to feel that, and then ask yourself, how can I remember them whole?
Yeah.
And that way you can help yourself not have so much blue in your holiday. How's that hit you?
I think that is wonderful, and I think it's so important to remember them and remember the beauty of who they were and the good times that you had with them, versus the fact that you're really sad that they're gone. I also think, though, and this is going to be a little different, what I'm going to say, and not so much about the lost loved ones, but sometimes we need to honor the fact that we don't like the holidays. And I think, again, it's kind of an obligation in a sense, but sometimes maybe you need to do something different. Maybe you need to say, okay, this year I'm giving myself permission to go on that vacation with myself, my friend, my spouse, whatnot. Um, because sometimes I think when we feel like we have to, I have to see my relatives that I don't like or whatever. Again, I'm a proponent for giving ourselves a little bit of a break. and you don't have to do anything. Again, it's your own expectation of perfection. If you'd rather just kind of blow off the holidays or go on a vacation somewhere during the time, you should allow yourself. I'm not saying all the time, and I mean, but it just depends upon your relationship with your family and friends that you're going to see.
Yeah. That's a good point. As long as it's not an escape, because I would rather, since family doesn't get together that often, if you have a button that gets pushed every holiday gathering, then it's up to you not to kill off the person pushing the button or avoiding them, because then you're cutting off your nose to spite your face. So if you've got 10 people and you love 9 of them, seeing them, but one person drives you crazy, you're going to rob yourself of the 9 people, right? So mine is a little bit different. I would prefer if you took that button away. And I have a couple of tools to do that. One is it's called MSU University. Go to MSU University, make shiitake up. So come up with a different response. If you know someone's going to say, "So are you married yet?" So if you want to poke fun, you can say, "I actually did, and I was so excited to tell you, but I got divorced before I got here." or I actually had a psychic boyfriend this year, but he broke up with me before we met. So I think it's a beautiful, wonderful, creative, fun way of detonating your button before someone has a chance to push it. And that's a skill. You're exercising your ability to have unconditional happiness. This is the tool. This is exactly, how good are you at having unconditional happiness? What does that mean? Despite the condition, I can choose to be happy. A lot of people misunderstand what unconditional love is. They think it means you love no matter what that person, even when they're a jerk. No, that has nothing to do with it. Unconditional love is you're just love. It really doesn't matter what the condition around you is. You love no matter what. So happiness is the same way. You are happy no matter what, no matter what condition is around you, especially around the holidays. Hi, Siba. Thank you for checking in. And if you have any comments or agreements or disagreements on any of this, please go to my YouTube channel. The link's in the bio, and you can comment there, and I'll put it up on the screen. Sorry. So, Colette, it was a soft disagreement with you.
That's okay. We're both right, Dr. Marissa.
Yes, absolutely. Right. Absolutely.
And I think that, like you say, and I think that's excellent advice as well. Reward yourself, after the holidays, right? So sometimes, like last year, my husband and I did that. After all the busyness of the holidays, we took a few days and went to the mountains, just went in a cabin. We were there just to get away and give ourselves some time to recharge. That's the real time to recharge. Being with your family is wonderful and giving and loving. And you can look at all, when you're on your own, then maybe you're going to feel so good because you can reflect, well, that wasn't bad. And now I'm recharging and doing what I want to do. So I think it's important to reward ourselves too, for if we're going to be there with family, if we're going to do the right thing and choose happiness, then we need to reward ourselves for that. We need to recognize, it doesn't have to be a trip away, but just something for yourself.
I totally agree. And I've got another tool for perfectionists or recovering perfectionists is, instead of saying the right and wrong thing, I use useful or not useful. And useful is something that brings you more joy and happiness, and not useful is something that brings you more angst, anxiety, depression, aggravation, irritation. So useful, not useful is the terms that I've been trying to use more to help everyone, and especially myself, with that distinction that it's all about bringing less stress and more joy into my life. And I love to my social media godson, his dad's tuning in from Texas, Timothy Taylor. A beautiful shout out to my godson Shun, who is half Chinese, and Shun means mountain. Did you know that, Colette?
I did not.
Yeah.
No wonder why I like that name.
Yeah,
I love the mountains.
Yeah. So you are hopefully you're hearing some good tools for this holiday coming up that's upon us, really. I mean, we all start now with thinking about the holidays. Some of us, as soon as Halloween shows, is like, really? There's Christmas stuff already in the
Making that
stores.
transition is right after Halloween.
Yes, especially during the pandemic, or now that we're coming out of the pandemic. It's so important to not go back to normal. Please, let's not go back to normal. Normal was a lot of stressed out people. Thank you for that thumbs up. A lot of stressed out people, a lot of people who were just existing, a lot of people who, I hate my job. I live for the weekends. I hate the holidays. Let's come back into a new normal. Let's come back to a place where we can truly express the joy of the season. And one of the ways, another tip that I'd like to give you is, instead of looking for that perfect gift and be so caught up in the consumerism of the holidays, I'm not saying, I like nice things, trust me. But the search for the perfect gift, or turning the holidays into a giant shopping spree, or just watching a leather ball being thrown around, and that to you is the holidays. This is my Dr. Marissa challenge to all the men and women, but mostly men, who see the holidays as a time to watch football, or as a time to, selfishly, and I'm going to say that, have fun and not fully appreciate all that has been done for you. So I'm being pretty tough love here, that on the flip side of the women who do too much, we have both sat here and done tough love to the women around adjusting their own attitude. Now I'm doing tough love to the men and those people who are absolutely, not taking advantage, but not appreciating enough what is done for them. So before you turn on the TV to watch football, don't listen to the commentary. If you really want to watch it, start at the beginning of the game. And spend that rest of the time, not just shoveling stuff and then sitting in front of the TV, but really, taking a minute, standing in front of the people that you love, especially the one cooking, and tell them specifically how much you appreciate them, for what and why. For 1 minute, time yourself. If you can do that, instead of saying, yummy, this is wonderful, thank you so much. That took 3 seconds for a preparation that took 2 weeks for your edification. Please, this make it not normal. This holiday season, I want you to put your plate down, put your arms around your cook, and look into their eyes and express a heartfelt appreciation. I tell you, you're gonna get someone sitting in your lap during the game, and you might even get a bonus after. But it's so important during the holidays to love yourself and appreciate what you do, and to appreciate what that other person does. That's my final word. Colette, yours?
Just enjoy, like you say, and really live in the moment. I think that's hard for so many people, especially the type A people, or very overly driven or ambitious. Live in the moment. Take it in. look at the beauty around you, the Christmas decorations, the magic really of the season. Try to take that kind of picture in your mind because you don't want to take your life for granted.
Such a good point.
Thank you.
Such a good point. Um, being in that present moment, I am guilty of this where we'll be looking at Christmas lights that are beautiful in Naples, and I'll be thinking about, did I remember to buy the French onions? Did I remember to buy? And I'm not there.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
am not there. And then, why bother?
Yeah. I mean, it's really taking it in. And I think maybe that's another gift. I know that I talked about that in my book, that it's another gift that we can take advantage of at this stage, right? Because let's face it, even at best, we probably don't have as much ahead of us as behind us already. And you never know. Life is changing all the time, and enjoy this moment. Take this moment. Be there.
Absolutely. Well, as usual, we're at the end of the hour. Colette, I want to thank you again.
Thank
Every
you.
other Wednesday, we have this great time where we talk about real women and the things that we go through, and focus on solution on how we can be happier, because that is my mission. Tomorrow is my very special series with Sam Works called Straight Talk. And
Mm.
Sam and I get to flirt and talk about all things romance, relationships, sex, and romance. So you'll want to tune in for my special
Mhm.
series Thursdays. Friday is my other co-host, and it is called Fired Up Fridays with Cynthia
Mhm.
Kahi and Dr. Marissa. That's on Fridays. I talked about what's coming up. Please also go to the Saban Theater, one of my great sponsors. Gordon Lightfoot tickets are my second Asian Oprah giveaway today.
Oh.
If you were here, I know you would.
Oh, I love Gordon Lightfoot.
Yeah. If you could read my mind,
Beautiful.
yes. And he's going to be here it's the 6th or the 9th. But go to Saban Theater, sabantheater.org, get your tickets. And if you want the free pair of tickets, courtesy of where music meets the soul, then go to drmarissa.life and put in Gordon Lightfoot, and you will win those tickets. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much, Colette, for for being here as my co-host. We'll see you in another 2 weeks. And thank you, as always, all of you who are checking in and wanting more hope and happiness. You know the drill. Colette, for those of you who haven't done this before, this is how I sign out, because it's all about balance. Peace in, peace out. World peace through inner peace. This is Dr. Marissa reporting live out of her living room during almost the end of the pandemic, and broadcasting live to the Inland Empire, 5 million homes and beyond on AM 1050, FM 106.5, the station that leaves no listener behind. Now go and have the best day ever.
Thanks, everybody.
Tomorrow.